We're swimming in text all day long, right? Emails, books, articles, even this explainer. But have you ever really stopped to think about what a text actually is? It seems super simple, but the answer? Well, it uncovers something pretty profound about how we think, how we study human culture, and maybe most importantly, how we actually connect with one another. So let's dig in.
Let's take this famous line, for example. I mean, on the surface, what is it? It's just a string of words, right? A fixed object. But we all feel it as so much more. You feel the doubt, the despair. It's like a human consciousness is reaching out across hundreds of years. So the real question is, how does a simple set of words do that?
So yeah, what is a text really? And this isn't just some dusty academic question, It gets to the very heart of how we understand each other. It's the difference between seeing those words from Hamlet as just dead objects on a page or as a living, breathing expression that you can actually connect with.
All right, so let's get into it. For folks who study human culture, we're talking philosophy, literature, history. The text is, well, it's everything. It's the primary reality. It's the raw material for any investigation. I mean, think about it. Without a text, there's literally nothing to study. But, and this is the key part, the definition of a text is way, way broader than just words on a page.
Okay, so the big idea here is that a text is any coherent group of signs. I want you to think bigger than just a book. It could be a speech, a law, a piece of music, a painting. Shoot, even a specific human action can be a text. Basically, if a person created it to express some kind of meaning, then boom, it's a text, just waiting to be understood.
So what makes understanding a text so special then? Well, the best way to really get it is to see how it's different from other kinds of knowledge. We're going to contrast two totally different worlds, the natural sciences and the humanities. And believe me, this distinction is at the absolute core of everything we're talking about.
Just look at the fundamental difference. The natural sciences, they study silent things. They study an it, a rock, an atom, a star. It doesn't speak back, it has no consciousness, no author. But the humanities, they study expressive texts. They study a you, a novel, a law, a conversation. These are all expressions from another mind. They have something to say.
And that difference in what they study leads to a huge difference in how they study it. Science, it's all about explanation. Because its object is a silent it, the whole process is a one-way street. It's a monologue, right? The scientist observes and explains. But the humanities? They're after understanding. And because their object is an expressive you, the process has to be a two-way street. It's got to be a dialogue, a conversation.
Really, it all comes down to how many minds are in the room. The source material puts it perfectly. When explaining, there is only one consciousness. When understanding, there are two. See? Explanation is a monologue. But understanding, that's a meeting of two minds, two consciousnesses.
Okay, so what does a dialogue with the text actually look like? I mean, it's not like the book talks back to you, right? Well, it's not about just passively soaking up information. It's something much, much more active. And this is where the magic of real communication happens.
The fancy term for this is dialogic relations, but all that really means is that active, two-way relationship between you and the mind of the author. The text itself isn't the meaning. Think of it more like the meeting ground. The real event, that aha moment of understanding, happens in the interaction between the two of you.
So what this means is that true understanding is never, ever passive. It's always responsive. You have to kind of formulate your own answer to the text. Do you agree? Disagree? Does it make you ask more questions? See, you're not just sitting back like an audience member, you're actually becoming a participant in the conversation.
Okay, but this brings us to a really fascinating paradox, doesn't it? If understanding is this living, breathing, dialogic event, how can the text itself be a fixed object? Just words on a page or paint on a canvas? How can it be both of those things at the exact same time?
Yeah, that's the central tension right there. How can something like Hamlet be both the same exact set of repeatable words printed in millions and millions of books, and also be a totally unique, unrepeatable experience every single time someone reads it or performs it on stage?
Well, here's the answer. Every text has two poles, two sides to it. First, you've got the language system.
These are the repeatable parts, the alphabet, the grammar, the code, the nuts and bolts. But then you have the utterance, and that is the unique, one-of-a-kind event of its creation, and the brand new event that happens every single time you or anyone else reads and understands it. Here's a killer analogy to make this super clear. Think about a fingerprint. You can photocopy it 1,000,000 times, right? But each copy is just the same dead object. There's nothing new happening. But when you reproduce a text by reading it, you're not just making a copy, no way. You're creating a new, unrepeatable event in that text's life. It's like you're adding another link in its long, ongoing conversation through time.
Okay, I know this might feel a little abstract, a little out there. But trust me, this has huge consequences for our everyday lives. This isn't just some theory for academics. This is a practical guide for how we actually talk to each other. So let's bring this all home. The big takeaway here is that real communication is always a two-way street. So think about the people in your life for a second. Are you usually trying to explain them? To figure them out like there's some kind of puzzle or a machine? Or are you trying to understand them, to really engage with them as a you? Because that shift in perspective, man, that's everything. Even something as simple as agreeing with someone isn't passive. It's an active dialogue. It's a joining of two voices to create something new, a shared reality. Every single interaction we have is a chance to build that connection. So here's a final thought for you. The next time you write an email or have a conversation or even just react to a comment online, ask yourself this one question. Am I just trying to explain an object, or am I trying to start a dialogue with a you? Because that one little difference, that's everything.